I just bought a ticket in every price level of first class because from a $300 first class to a $60,000 first class seat, the prices vary drastically, which makes me ask the question, which first class is most worth it? Well, to find out, I bought $100,000 worth of tickets to fly in every level of first class and rating them on the comfort of the seat, the food, the service experience, and the free things that you get. So with that said, let's head to the airport and board our first flight of Air India, where first class starts at just $300. Hello, good morning.
Hey, good morning. How are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm good. One AB is please.
Thank you. Wow, so ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our first seat being on Air India for $300. And first impressions, I gotta say, I'm pretty impressed. Like, first off, this cabin feels super exclusive, being just one row in a 1-2-1 configuration, with the seat itself feeling enormous, with having an incredible amount of legroom with a footrest that can even be used as a second seat if you have a friend on board. Or for example, if you want to sleep, your seat even turns into a lie flat bed. Now with that said, I definitely do see some of the criticism that Air India receives, with the cabin looking pretty worn. But to be honest, for the price point, this is a really good deal, man. So I'm gonna give this a solid rating of a 7 out of 10. So as we take off from Delhi going to Mumbai, I'm super curious to see what the free things look like on a flight that costs only $300. And after looking around my entire seat here, the answer to that question is there's no amenities. Well, basically no amenities, like just these reusable earphones here and a hot towel / welcome drink when we arrived. So this has got to be like a 3 out of 10. But with that said, probably the most important section for me in first class is the food. And how this works is you're given this menu here where you're given 4 different choices. And I've just gotten my breakfast here, and we went with a traditional Indian breakfast of the pindi chana, which are chickpeas and curry served with pickled infused spiced bread, and with also a croissant and cinnamon roll. So let's give this a try and see how the food is here. Whoa. Okay. Just give me a second. Oh my gosh. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, that was one of the most unique meals I think I've ever had in a first class before. Like, holy freaking cow, that's good. However, that's before the hardest section of them all, a section so difficult only a few airlines can survive it. And that's because of the wheel of truth. Sorry. Just having a bit of fun over here. Is the... Oh, no, thank you. Oh my gosh, I cannot believe that just happened. Anyway, if you're new here, the Wheel of Truth is my ultimate test for grading airplane service, as there's 8 different tests on here that are completely randomized. So anyway, let's give this thing a spin and let's see what we're testing Air India. Holy crap, and with Air India landing on the toughest spot in the entire Wheel of Truth to start us off here of the 1-star review test, where I take a real 1-star review and see if it's true or false. So with that said, Aneep says, I recently flew first class on Air India and it was the worst I've ever experienced. The cabin was filthy with torn fabric, mildew and crevices, dirt and hair in plug sockets, and things moving in random compartments. The entertainment system didn't work, so all you could do is look at the cabin falling apart. Dang, that is a beastly 1-star review. Like, there's, I don't know, maybe like 5 different things he cited on there being problems. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna test each one of those 5 things and award 2 points if it's false and award 0 points if it's true. So Aneep's first claim is torn fabric everywhere. If you're wondering why my head is here, there's torn fabric right there, and just overall everywhere in the cabin, so I'm gonna have to award 0 points here. However, in terms of mildew in the crevices, for me, everything looks pretty well clean. Like, there was also no dirt and hair stuck in the plug socket compartments, and there's absolutely no moving things around the cabin except for me. Now, in terms of his claim of the entertainment system not working, that's also false. So with there being a bit of truth to the 1-star review, but overall a bit exaggerated, I say, with this being a pretty solid score. So Air India, I'm impressed. This went past my expectations for sure. But anyway, as we land in Mumbai now, I'm super excited to see what a $3,000 first class of level 2 is like.
Hello. How are you?
Good, how are you? Thank you. Alright, and our seat is just this one on the left here, but I believe that's a bag full of headphones just chilling on our seat. So I'm gonna move those, and I'm not gonna lie, this is a bit of a weird start to a first class seat that's 10 times the price of the last, but Anyway, as you can see, this seat is super new looking, as this is actually the second flight this aircraft has ever taken. Like, as we take off going to Abu Dhabi, I welcome you on a first class like no other in the world of Etihad's A321 LR's first class, which is the world's only narrow body with a first class product. And with this also being the most exclusive first class, having only one row of 2 seats, having this space feel super private, having a door, and with the seat itself angled to the right side towards the window. That's of course able to go in a fully lie-flat position, but what's really cool when you go into that bed mode, you can go over here as well and have a little buddy seat, with also on this side having a 20-inch screen TV that not only works with a remote but also touchscreen. So the seat is solid for the price, but to be honest, I think I have to reduce the score slightly because of the headphone bag that was left. However, ladies and gentlemen, the section that shows by far the main differences between a $300 first class and a $3,000 first class are the free things you get. So cue like the welcome to my crib music right here.
Ricky Rouse.
Woo! Oh, so sorry. Cue the boss music again. Anyway, as I was saying, the free things are truly next level in this seat. With having this full-on leather bag made by Giorgio Armani, and inside having all different sorts of goodies. With, for example, having Giorgio Armani PJs, Giorgio Armani slippers with, I believe that's like sheep fur, and then this luxury toiletries case by Espa, having a hand and body lotion, a restful pulse point oil, hydrating lip balm, overnight hydration cream, and hydrating facial mist. With all these amenities adding up to a pretty solid chunk of what we paid for this ticket, which is just, it's mind-blowing. But with that said, the food service is just about to begin, and I'm super excited to try this because on the menu, there's not one plate. No. There's a 3-course meal here. Like, for my first course of what supposedly is my appetizer, we have a ridiculous amount of things here, with having a full Arabic meze. The first impressions of the food, I'm insanely impressed, but does it taste as good as it looks? And I know this comes as such a shock, but every single bite tastes amazing. But continuing on to the main course, we have a beautiful, stunning lamb chop. Like, I mean, would you just look at that thing? It looks like it could be served in a restaurant, and it tastes like it can too. But for the dessert course, we have the absolutely stunning milk saffron cake, and just like everything else in this meal being unbelievable. Like, this could be in a French bakery. And although this first class has been absolutely blowing the $300 first class out of the water, few can survive the wheel of truth. Not gonna lie, I'm happy I didn't have another awkward moment this time. Anyway, let's give this thing a spin. Oh, and with them landing on the call button test, which is a super straightforward test of service where I press the call button here, and depending on the amount of time it takes for them to come to my seat is the amount of points that they receive. So anyway, here's the rating scale, and let's commence the test. I'm still working on it. Can I have some Moroccan mint green tea? Yeah, thank you. 12 minutes. I honestly don't know what just happened there, but I'm at a loss for words. Like, the seat for comfort and free things is most definitely better than the $300 seat. But because of the service being super slow and just not as good as Air India, the seat actually scores below the $300 one, showing that the service really is the most important part of first class, which as we land in Abu Dhabi makes me super interested to see how the service is different on a $30,000 first class, which the first class of level 3 that costs $30,000 actually starts before the flight in one of the most exclusive lounges in the world called the Private Room. It's Singapore Airlines' new renovated $50 million first class lounge, with each passenger having their own like private area here, and with a menu that is just unbelievable. And we're gonna be boarding in a few minutes, and while I was waiting, I booked my hotel for tonight and also a travel experience for tomorrow, and I realized I was doing so with the same website that I believe is one of my biggest travel hacks of the year. You see, Klook is my go-to travel booking platform for pretty much everything, from hotels to experiences to even tours, because they always seem to have the best prices and also the most options. For example, just this month, I've used them about like 10 times in 5 different countries. From, for example, getting a cheaper ticket at Universal Studios Japan that, side note, was actually cheaper than Universal's website, to booking transportation, to also booking a handful of hotels. So anyway, thank you so much to Klook for being a long-term partner of this channel, and be sure to click the link in the description box below to go check them out today, and be sure to use my code to get 10% off your first purchase. Anyway, the lounge staff has just told me that our flight is boarding, so let's go see what level 3 of Singapore Airlines $30,000 first class is actually like.
Hello. Hello. To us, welcome to the suite. Thank you. This is your suite.
Great, thank you very much. Okay, all I can say is we have entered into a completely new level. Like, I've been on board 2 minutes and I've met the entire crew thus far. So as we take off, I gotta say, even though I've flown Singapore Airlines before, my mind is just blown by this space. Like, first off, as you probably just saw, this space is huge. Like, I mean enormous. With Singapore Airlines calling these not seats, but suites. And I can believe it because being in an A380 here, there's over 550 passengers, but only 6 are in first class, with the cabin being a 1x1 configuration of 3 rows, making the space feel like more of a hotel room versus an airplane seat, with, for example, having no overhead bins, because within your room here, that by the way has a closed door, there's a full-on closet for you. Now, in terms of the seat itself, it's also on a completely different level. Like, right now I'm facing in the direction of every other airplane seat in the world. I'm facing forward. But for example, if I wanted to turn to the left, I can do that because this seat swivels in any direction you'd like. With, for example, on the left here, being able to watch your TV, that by the way also swivels. Or if you want to watch the view, you can just turn to the right, with also having this desk area here that doubles as a vanity section. Now, in terms of the seat itself, it does recline backwards here, with also having a footrest that goes up. And don't get me wrong, the recline is super comfy, but the seat actually doesn't fully recline in a lie flat position. And that's because next to your seat, ladies and gentlemen, you have a full-blown separate bed. So in terms of the comfort of the seat, I don't even know where to start. Like, this is in a class of its own. However, no section showcases the elevated feel of this first class like the free things here. Like, first things first, as we came on board, I was offered these beautiful Lalique slippers that also came with socks, super fancy Lalique pajamas, and of course an amenity kit here, with all products being from luxury brand Lalique. Now, along with that, when we arrived on board, we were offered a welcome drink of a champagne from a bottle that costs over $300, and a hot towel, which is all super impressive and again deserves a solid rating. But without a doubt, the thing I was most excited for to try on Singapore Airlines was their food, as Singapore Airlines has something that no other airline has called Book the Cook, where you order your meal online a few days before so your food can be made from a chef's recipe. So for a first course here, we have their famous chicken satay served with a champagne pairing of both of the champagnes they offer on board. This one costing $300 and this one costing $400. With the satay tasting absolutely unbelievable and the champagnes also being amazing. You could say this meal is getting started off right. But moving out of the next course, we have the incredibly impressive caviar course. Now, something I'm also starting to realize about Singapore Airlines is with every course, there's some sort of special drink. So with the caviar, we have a traditional vodka. I'm not gonna lie, I never drink vodka. So anyway, with that said, let's give this caviar a try. Oh my gosh. Certainly a unique experience. Anyway, in front of us for a second course, we have the marinated scallops, which is served with a shaved fennel citrus salad and lemon basil vinaigrette. I mean, come on, this is the next level here. We've certainly arrived. But continuing on to course number 3, we have the cutest little soup dish here of the snow fungus chicken soup. And I just love how every food, it can't be like a basic food. It can't be just chicken noodle soup. It needs to be a snow fungus chicken noodle soup. That's when you know you're in an expensive first class, when you see snow fungus. But moving out of the next course, my mind is blown. Ladies and gentlemen, in front of us, we have the Wagyu Yakiniku, which is the top Wagyu in the world of Japanese A5 Wagyu. Like, to have this on an airplane is unbelievable. And I'm not exaggerating here. That was the best food I've ever had on any first class, on any airplane seat. Like, this is a pure 10 out of 10. Like, I don't even care what's for dessert. I don't care what the cheese platter is. I don't care what the other courses are. This right here, this is unreal. However, they haven't experienced the absolute wrath of the toughest section of the Wheel of Truth. Anyway, let's give this wheel a whirl and see what we land on. Oh my gosh. And with Singapore Airlines landing on possibly the most random test of them all, of the bathroom test. To go to the bathroom midway through the flight, or even like 2/3 of the way of being done with the flight, it's a dangerous endeavor. Like, the best airlines will clean bathrooms maybe like every 30 minutes to an hour, but some of the worst just neglect them completely. So anyway, let's head to the bathroom now and let's see what we find. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, this is insane. Like, welcome to the absolutely enormous bathroom that has, of course, a beautiful sink area, then a vanity area over here, and then all the way over here is your toilet that has a cushion on top. And even though we're midway through the flight right now, the bathroom being absolutely spotless. So anyway, for service, this gets a pure 10 out of 10. So needless to say, as we're landing now, Singapore Airlines has taken the lead by a huge margin, which makes me super curious to see how a seat double the price in comparison of level 4 being the $60,000 seat is. And our $60,000 experience starts in the craziest way possible by being in another airport lounge. But this is like no other lounge in the world because, ladies and gentlemen, it is completely 100% private. Like, would you just take a look at this place? Like, look at this TV. With also these things just like being here, like, I didn't order them. Like, these just came with the room. Of course, our own coffee machine back here. And then, I mean, this is just crazy, but our own bathroom within our own private lounge, which I guess makes sense. Anyway, after enjoying my own lounge, I'm now being escorted to the gate to board the $60,000 seat.
Is the biscuit my ice cream?
Yeah. Wow. Amazing. Oh man. I mean, I know I've flown Etihad before, but this is mind-blowing, man. So as we take off, ladies and gentlemen, I welcome you to a seat like no other, being the most expensive first-class seat in the world of the Residence. Like, the Singapore Airlines suite was big, but this one, it's double the size, with this seat having not one, not two, but 3 total rooms here. And I'm not even sure if you guys can see me back here, because this total seat size, or suite, or residence, I guess you would call it, is 125 square feet. Like, starting off in our living room here, we have our actual airplane seat. That's not really an airplane seat, it's more like a throne, having not one, but 2 seats here, with across from your throne of an airplane seat having a 40-inch TV, and then a couch slash like ottoman area. Now, the living room is made private by the door here, but as you can see, it's not the height of the ceiling. So, for example, if you'd like a little bit more privacy, you just go through this door here, and you come in to your bedroom area, which is by far the most comfy bed in any airplane seat in the world. Like, count it, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pillows here. Like, you don't even get 6 pillows in a 5-star hotel, let alone an airplane. But what definitely is my favorite room out of the 3 is the one located over here, being the private bathroom, complete with a shower area. So, I mean, going through my entire residence here, I gotta say, like, you cannot get better than this. There is no airplane seat better than this in the world. So this gets a perfect score of a 10 out of 10. Now, just like the seat, the food is also a dream, with having more options of food to choose from than any other airline, with having both breakfast and lunch available whenever you want, which I'm not sure if many people usually do this, but I think I'm gonna order breakfast and lunch at the exact same time. Oh mama, would you just take a look at this? Like, first of all, I'm just blown away by the presentation here, with having an insanely big portion of caviar, with also salmon sashimi. Like, I don't know how they're able to get salmon of sashimi quality on an airplane, but the Residence seems to offer pretty much anything. And continuing on this culinary journey of a meal, we have the crab cakes, which is topped with cabbage and sauce. This meal just keeps getting better and better. And moving to our main course, we have the absolutely perfect looking steak with fries, with the steak being perfectly cooked. And the fries, I mean, have you ever seen a more perfect fry than that? Like, how did they get them like that? Now, served with it is something else on another level with having truffle sauce, which truly just perfects this dish. But the next course truly shows the variety that you can choose from in the Residence. Like, we started with dinner, but now we're moving in to breakfast for dessert, with in front of us having the absolutely stunning French toast that honestly is the fanciest French toast I've ever seen. So honestly, guys, sitting here with this beautiful French toast, just devouring everything that I would like on this menu. This is a pure 10 out of 10. Like, of course, Singapore Airlines was amazing. Don't get me wrong. We had an amazing meal, but I didn't feel the abundance I feel on this flight. And although the Residence is not surprisingly scoring like top notches in every category, I'm super interested to see what it's gonna do when it's judged by the Wheel of Truth. Let's get down to business. Let's give this thing a spin. It has landed on the call button test, which is the same test. I don't know if you guys remember, but we did on the $3,000 ticket, also on Etihad, on a completely different airplane in a completely different seat, even though they're both classified as first class. So let's click the call button and see how the Residence does. You were so fast, I rang it and you were here in like 2 seconds. It was crazy. Yeah, thank you so much. Appreciate it. I'm pretty sure that was a world record time. So, I mean, this is obviously 10 out of 10. So, needless to say, Etihad is just blowing me away, and it continues to the free thing. Like, of course, we get the normal goodies like the few $100 amenity kit, the slippers, the headphones, blankets, pillows galore. But then in every other room of your Residence, there's different things. Like, for example, down here, we have a mini bar being stocked with any different type of beverage you'd like. Then in your bathroom here, you have a frickin' robe, and then more luxury Espa skincare products. So, I mean, it's very clear to me that this is, again, a 10 out of 10. But with that said, after a few hours of just enjoying the suite, we're landing now. And if there's one thing I've learned from this journey to find which first class is most worth it, it's actually not about the seat, but the people. Nisha from Air India, the amazing Singapore Airlines crew, and of course, Katarina from our current flight. Which the Residence was the best overall, but Air India wasn't crazily far behind, and for me was by far the best value. But anyway, thanks for coming along on this journey with me, and if you want to watch another one, be sure to click this one here.
But this is crazy.
Do you want to say hi to your future self?
Hi.